Hey, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I wanted to talk to you today about when your best is just not good enough. And we kind of get in that rut. I was talking to a friend the other day, and we were both sharing about when we just are not operating at the top of our game, when we can't be the best that we know that we can be. And some examples are just like when you're exhausted, when you're tired, you're overwhelmed, you're overtasked and you just, you literally have to like triage something and you can't give it the full care or attention that you want to when you usually would be able to. And then once you're out of the situation, you have slept, you've eaten, you've got to unburden yourself. Then you look back and you have so much self-judgment that you had an opportunity to be better and you just couldn't do it. You ran out of steam. You shrunk, your capacity was smaller in the moment and it can be bigger. You've operated better than that before. And, we like often say, oh, you did the best you could in the moment. And like, it's okay. Have some grace with yourself. It's okay. And you never like really feel better, you know? And that was the conversation, like how it started, like give yourself some grace. Your window of tolerance diminishes when you're hungry or tired or stressed. And if you don't know what a window of tolerance is, it's basically this range that we all have inside of us and it grows and shrinks. But it's like kind of our window of capacity to tolerate discomfort or stress or load or to push ourselves. But biologically, it does shrink when we are tired and hungry and overloaded. And that's literally our biology shrinking it. But of course, we're perfectionists and we want to do the best all the time. And we judge that we should have been better than we are, especially when we know we have done better in the past. And, I think it's a nice place to start. Like, oh, you did the best that you could at the time that you had. And it's not your fault. Like you had to triage, you had to, sleep, you had to eat, whatever. But I don't know. Sometimes I think that we're actually doing ourselves a disservice because like we're making nice with it, but we're not honoring the part of ourselves that does seek to grow, that does want to be better, that does want to excel and always be at the top of our game and always be delivering and over delivering the highest quality of work that we can. And I don't think that that's a bad thing at all. I think it's a beautiful desire and a beautiful goal. And so we're like having this conversation and it's the same day that we had a conversation with other people where earlier in the day we were talking about when your expectations don't meet reality, you're disappointed. And the joke was like, well, so what do you do then? You lower your expectations. And, fast forward, me and my friend are having this conversation about being disappointed that we're not meeting our own expectations. And I think if we go back to this, our model, our CBT model, that expectations or failure of reaching expectations are just neutral circumstance, they can't make us feel disappointed, then our desire to meet them, when we meet them, it's not that meeting them makes us feel better, right? It's our thoughts about us meeting them. And likewise, when we don't meet our expectations, it's not the lack of meeting them that makes us feel bad. It's our own thoughts and expectations of ourselves that's making us feel bad. But I don't think the answer is to lower our expectations. And actually, I would argue, raise your expectations, right? Because it's not the expectations that's making us feel bad or the lack of reaching them that's making us feel bad. I think it's just the judgment that somehow we are wrong or bad to feel disappointed. And this is where our conversation started to evolve. That's like, yeah, you know what? I am disappointed when my window of tolerance diminishes, when my capacity diminishes, or I can't fully rise up to the occasion. Yeah, I am disappointed in myself. And just to acknowledge that and like own that and be okay with that. It's not that I have to lower my expectations so that I can feel better. That's not the point. I feel worse if I lower my expectations, actually, to be honest. I can just own that like, my failure in that moment is not my failure as a person and release the self-judgment and just own like, you know what? I'm human. And it totally sucks today that I did not fully rise to the occasion. It sucks today that I wasn't my best. And it sucks that even if I did the best that I could with what I had, that it's still not to the standards that I want and that it's still like not good enough for what I want. You know what? I'm okay with that. And I think that when we resist and run away from the disappointment because we don't want to feel the disappointment, and we just lower our expectations because we think that the disappointment is the problem. But that's not the problem. It's not a problem to feel embarrassed. It's not a problem to feel disappointed. It's not a problem to feel ashamed. And actually, that's where the conversation kept evolving, is like, what if it's not only not a problem, like it's okay to feel that, but what if it's an invitation back to our highest self? Like, what if we're having those as messengers to propel us forward, to get us to where we want to go? And I use this example all the time of jealousy, so I'm going to use it here again and then come back to our conversation, our example. But like, okay, I grew up Catholic, and envy is one of the 7 deadly sins. So I always judged that envy or being an envious person was a terrible thing. And I would do everything at all costs not to be jealous or not to feel jealousy. And I would like transmute that into humility, or I would like, celebrate another person and just judge myself for being jealous. But now that I'm removing the labels from the emotions and I just see it as messengers, I see that envy, jealousy, it's a beautiful thing. It is a message to me that I notice somebody out there is living my deepest desires fully and freely. And they are having an experience that I want to have. They're being the person that I want to be. And there's nothing wrong with that. And the reason that I'm jealous is because deep down, I'm not allowing myself to be that person. And yet I see someone else so freely expressing it. And I wish that I could, but I'm denying myself. Therefore, I feel jealous. And actually, the jealousy, the envy, is just a messenger. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just a messenger back to myself, an invitation back to myself to be my most honest self, my most authentic, truest, freest version. And so then my work is to understand, why am I denying this to myself? What are my beliefs around achieving this thing or being this way that I'm not allowing myself to do that or to be that? And so let's bring it back to now this example of disappointment where we're not rising to the occasion. Maybe it's okay to be disappointed. Sure, I get that. But also, what if it's just a constant reminder? What if it's a constant messenger to remind us of where we want to be, how we want to be, how we want to respond? And just to say like, hey, listen, as great as you are, as much as you've done, you know what? There's still a few things that I want to be better at, that I want to develop further when I'm upset, when I can't do this thing well enough, when I can't be this kind of person. And when my best isn't enough and I don't meet all those things, I'm disappointed. Not only do I own it and I not hide from it, but I'm okay with it. And I take it as an invitation like, oh yeah, it's just a reminder. I'm just still on my way. I'm still on my way to becoming that person. It's like a little lighthouse in the dark, and it's just guiding my decisions, my behaviors, my actions, so that the next time this thing comes up, I can just take a deep breath and overcome my disappointment, my anger, whatever, and just realize like, oh, this is the part where I'm falling short. Okay, let me figure this out. Let me like eat a snack or lay down or delegate or whatever it is that I'm doing. Maybe I'm too cognitively loaded because I'm micromanaging everything and I'm not trusting people to do the job. So how is this an invitation to be somebody who can delegate, be somebody who can trust, to be somebody who can take a little bit of risk so that I can make that jump to live out my highest capacity, to be at the top of my game? So I think that, lowering our expectations just makes us feel worse. But if we keep them the same, and actually even if we raise them up, how much more does that drive our innovation? How much more does that propel us forward towards the future that we want, towards the person that we want to be? I think it's a beautiful thing as long as we can do that dance of duality where we both we use it to move forward and we don't stay stuck in the past of self-judgment. Because that's usually what happens to me. I don't know about you, but like I usually can't move on because I'm judging myself. And when I'm judging myself, I can't access my creativity. I can't access what could be possible for me until I just first own it and accept it that, yeah, I fell short. My best isn't good enough. That's okay. I'm human. And when I acknowledge the desire in me that wants to do better and to have more and to achieve more and to make a difference, then it can propel me instead of like me punishing myself, judging myself, paralyzing myself because I didn't do good enough. I know that like by the end of this conversation, I had a lot of relief, like, to not hide and punish myself for not being my best, but also just how to get out of that rut and reconnect with my purpose by using that disappointment, not as a way to punish myself, to judge myself, but as a way to remind myself of where I'm trying to go. And I hope that you can find the same and to know that together we're constantly on this path of growth and evolution, and that this will be our journey always, that we will always have a capacity that we're trying to meet, and then hopefully we'll meet it. And then we're going to want to expand our capacity again. And I think that's such a wonderful, beautiful thing to evolve ourselves and to evolve the world. And that the times that we don't do it, it's just a signal to us that we're on the right track, that we're on the way. It's confirmation that we are evolving towards where we want to go, that nothing has gone wrong. We're exactly where we're meant to be. We're exactly growing in the way we're supposed to grow. We're exactly on track. And to accept that we're totally committed to growing into this person and to giving ourselves lots and lots of opportunities to practice that and to fall and to get up and to fall and to get up, but that we're constantly getting up and that we're constantly trying to figure out how to make our best our best. And I hope that you feel that the underlying tone is one of complete self-acceptance, complete self-love, complete self-appreciation for how much you have done, and that you are looking into the future because you love yourself, because you want to be this kind of person, because you want to contribute in this kind of way. It's never out of performance. It's never out of needing validation, needing an award, needing somebody to see you a certain way, needing even to feel better about yourself because you achieved said thing or you are a certain way. No, but one that you already feel completely complete, that you already feel whole and worthy, and that the reason you can get up over and over and keep pushing yourself and keep embracing the disappointment is because you have nothing to prove, is because this slice of consciousness, so let's say myself, this little slice of Satie, I want her to have this experience where she is constantly disappointed and constantly is figuring out ways to close that gap. Because I just think that'll be really fun. I think it's a cool puzzle to solve. I think it is a cool experience to be brave and to be creative and to be connected. And there's no need there. I'm not, chasing anything. I'm not needing to achieve it. I just want to achieve it because there is no better there than here. I've already arrived. I'm already complete. Achieving the goal, operating at the top of your game is just out of the joy of it, the hell of it, the pure desire of it, because that's who I want to be. And I love that the disappointment is continuing to point me in that direction as a compass, as a guide, out of love, out of evolution, out of desire. And if I achieve the goal and I can reach the top of my game, that's amazing. And guess what? Even if I don't, the heart of the question is, even if you don't achieve the goal, do you still want to try? Do you still want to be someone who tries? And to me, the answer is always yes, because the point of trying is the evolving. It's the trying of new things. It's the growing. And even if I never get there, how many other wonderful strategic byproducts do I get out of it? How do I grow? How does my character grow? What other achievements do I gain in trying to get there? So I hope that fills you, nourishes you, helps you release some punishment and self-judgment, helps you raise your expectations, if anything. And for ending tradition, I have some questions for you to chew on. But When has there been a time in your life when your best was not good enough? Think about that time, and can you allow your frustration, your disappointment, your anger, your sadness as just part of the human experience to know that nothing has gone wrong? And beyond that, not just allowing for it, but allowing for the gap between where you are and where you wanted to be okay. Meaning, I did my best, it wasn't good enough, and I'm okay with that because it means I'm on my way to getting there. It's confirmation that that's still what I want in my life, that that's still important to me, that I'm going to figure out a way to get there, or whatever it is. But let it be an invitation that propels you forward with love, with purpose, with passion, instead of getting stuck in a rut of self-judgment and punishment. And the last question is, even if you never, ever got that goal, would you still try? And if you would, why? Because that why is something you can always live into, no matter if you get the goal or not. Wishing you all play, possibility, and peace. Wishing you to feel so supported in this space. And I'm so, so honored to be a part of your soul tribe. Sending you love, and see you next week. Bye.